Have you ever felt most peaceful when you were completely alone? No noise, no conversation, no demands from anyone, just you and your own quiet thoughts. And instead of enjoying that peace, you felt guilty about it. You wondered if something was wrong with you. You asked yourself, why do I prefer being alone? Why do I find crowds exhausting? Why do people drain my energy? Today, I want to tell you something that will change the way you see yourself completely. There is nothing wrong with you. In fact, everything is very right with you. Because science has discovered something fascinating. The people who prefer solitude are often the most intelligent, the most creative, the most emotionally aware people on the planet. Let me explain why. The first reason is this: smart people think deeply, and deep thinking requires silence. When you are constantly surrounded by people, your brain is always in response mode, always reacting, always processing social information, always managing relationships and conversations. But when you are alone, your brain shifts into something completely different. It starts to create, it starts to connect ideas, it starts to solve problems, it starts to dream. And that is where real intelligence lives, not in the noise, but in the silence. The second reason, intelligent people are highly selective about their energy. They understand that energy is their most valuable resource, and they protect it fiercely. Every conversation costs something. Every social interaction requires energy, and smart people are very careful about where that energy goes. So they choose solitude, not because they hate people, but because they love their own clarity more than they love small talk. The third reason, people who prefer being alone have a very rich inner world. They do not need constant external stimulation because their own mind provides everything they need: ideas, questions, creativity, reflection. The average person feels bored when alone because they have not yet discovered the extraordinary world that lives inside them. But you have, and that is rare. That is beautiful. That is intelligent. The fourth reason, solitude builds emotional strength. When you spend time alone, you learn to sit with your own feelings. You learn to process your emotions without distraction. You learn to understand yourself at a level most people never reach. And that self-understanding is the foundation of everything. Confidence, clarity, peace, all of it begins in solitude. So the next time you choose to stay home instead of going to a party, the next time you cancel plans because you need quiet time, the next time you sit in silence and feel completely content, do not feel guilty, do not feel strange, do not feel like something is wrong with you, because nothing is wrong with you. You are simply someone who knows the value of their own company, and that is one of the most intelligent things a person can know. This is Modern Mindset Pro, and your mind deserves the space to think its greatest thoughts. There's a question that intelligent people ask themselves, usually late at night when the world is finally quiet and they can hear their own thoughts clearly. Why do I feel so much better alone? Why does solitude feel like coming home? Why does being around too many people feel like wearing clothes that do not fit? If you have ever asked yourself this question, then this is for you. Most people assume that preferring solitude means something is wrong, that you are antisocial, that you are lonely, that you are somehow broken or incomplete. But research tells us something completely different, something that will make you see yourself in an entirely new light. People who prefer being alone are not running away from the world. They are running towards something far more valuable, themselves. Think about the greatest minds in human history. Einstein spent hours alone with his thoughts. Newton discovered gravity in solitude. Tesla did his greatest work in complete isolation. These were not broken people. These were people who understood something profound, that the greatest conversations you will ever have are the ones you have with yourself. Here's the first thing science tells us. Intelligent people get overstimulated by social interaction very quickly. Their brains are processing everything at a much deeper level. Every word, every expression, every subtle shift in the room. While others simply enjoy the surface of a conversation, intelligent people are analyzing every layer of it. And that takes enormous mental energy. So they need solitude, not as a luxury, but as a necessity to recharge, to reset, to return to themselves. The second thing science discovered is that intelligent people are more creative in solitude. When you are alone, your brain enters what scientists call the default mode network. This is where imagination lives, where connections between ideas are made, where your most creative and original thoughts are born. And this network only fully activates when you are completely alone, away from the noise, away from the demands, away from the constant stimulation of other people. The third insight is perhaps the most powerful. People who are comfortable alone have developed something most people never find: a genuine relationship with themselves. They know what they think, not what they are supposed to think. They know what they feel, not what others expect them to feel. They know what they want, not what society tells them to want. And that clarity, that deep, honest self-knowledge, is one of the rarest and most powerful things a human being can possess. So, if you have always been someone who needs time alone, if crowds drain you and silence restores you, if you would rather spend an evening with your own thoughts than at a party with 100 people, please hear this. You are not strange, you are not broken, you are not missing something. You are actually more in tune with yourself than most people will ever be. You have discovered the extraordinary value of your own company. And in a world that never stops talking, that is not a weakness. That is a gift. Protect your solitude. Honor your need for quiet. Trust the intelligence that lives in your silence. This is Modern Mindset Pro, and your mind was always meant to have space, to think, to breathe, to become. Close your eyes for just a moment and think about the last time you were completely alone. No phone, no noise, no one asking anything of you, just you and the quiet. How did that feel? For most people, silence feels uncomfortable. It feels empty. It feels like something is missing. But for you, it probably felt like something else entirely. It felt like relief. It felt like breathing again. It felt like finally coming home. And you have probably wondered about that. Why do I feel this way? Why does solitude restore me when it seems to drain everyone else? Why do I think more clearly alone than I ever do in a crowd? Today, I want to sit with you in that question and give you the answer that you have always deserved to hear. You prefer being alone because your mind works differently, not worse, not broken, differently, beautifully, deeply. Your mind does not just skim the surface of things, it goes underneath. It asks why. It looks for meaning. It searches for truth. And that kind of thinking, that deep, beautiful searching, can only happen in silence. When the world around you is quiet, something inside you wakes up. Ideas begin to surface. Connections begin to form. Questions you have been carrying start finding their answers, not because someone gave them to you, but because you finally had the space to find them yourself. That is not loneliness. That is intelligence, living exactly as it was meant to live. There is something else I want you to understand. Something gentle, something important. Choosing solitude does not mean you don't love people. It does not mean you are cold or distant or difficult. It simply means that you love depth more than you love noise. You love meaning more than you love distraction. You love the version of yourself that only appears when the world goes quiet. And that version of you, the one that thinks and wonders and creates and feels everything so deeply, that version is not your weakness. It is your greatest strength. Think about how much you have figured out in your quiet moments, the decisions you made that turned out to be right, the ideas that came to you when you were sitting alone, the clarity that found you when you finally stopped and listened to yourself. None of that happened in the noise. All of it happened in the silence. So I want you to stop apologizing for needing quiet time. Stop feeling guilty for choosing solitude over socializing. Stop wondering if something is wrong with you. Because nothing is wrong with you. You are simply someone who has discovered that the most interesting person in any room is the one sitting quietly in the corner, thinking thoughts that no one else has thought yet. That person is you. Honor your solitude, protect your quiet, trust your stillness, because in that stillness lives something rare, something extraordinary, something the world very much needs. Your mind at its most honest, at its most creative, at its most free. This is Modern Mindset Pro, and your mind has always deserved this kind of quiet.